Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. Here for a wrap up stream because we've had this with tournament for this month. It's been such a good tournament, and I can't leave the tournament without wrapping it up, finishing up, talking about the Italy squad as a whole, doing my team of the tournament towards the end of the video, getting your thoughts on the Italy squad and everything, and then we can go back to what the main purpose of this channel is after this video today. Today is, I promise, is the final Euro 2020 video I will make on my channel. And then afterwards, back to business, back to Inter, and there's loads of Inter stuff going on already. I'm already, it probably should be, there's already some talking points that we should be talking about Inter today, but we'll leave it for the next coming days. There's enough content. Don't worry, guys. Hey, we got Primo Pod in the house. Everyone tens. Hey, it could be, when these guys, they've deserved it. All of these guys deserve tens. At the end of the day, they brought the trophy home. There's nothing you can say. There's not going to be any low ratings. I'm going to say that straight away. I'm not going to be an idiot or going to be putting up an agenda against anyone in particular. Immobile. No, I'm joking. No one deserves a bad rating. I think maybe the lowest rating we'll go with is a 6. I think we'll go with a 6 as the lowest rating. So all the ratings will be between 6 and 10. There's not going to be any stupid ones of like a 3 or a 2 or a 1 just to trigger some people. We're gonna be fair, and obviously it's my opinion, but obviously you guys in the comments in the live stream, let me know your thoughts. And obviously if you're watching this after the live stream, let me put it in the comments below your own ratings and all that good stuff. Now Biggie in the house. Obviously this guy is we gotta build a statue for this guy. He's always in the house. Sporting is suing Inter over João Mario. That will quickly cover that. There was a clause in the João Mario contract that banned Inter from selling him to a Portuguese club, I believe, any Portuguese club. And now he's leaving on a free transfer, and Sporting are trying to, still get that 30 million clause in the contract. So obviously we don't want any of that, but we should be all right. Yeah, I think there's some sort of technicality. I don't know anything about these legal things, but yeah, focusing on the Azzurri. Don't worry now, Biggie. We'll talk about Inter on this channel in the coming days, but let me just do this final video for the Azzurri. It's been such a good month of watching this team playing the best football in the tournament, and I couldn't leave it without doing this final video talking about them one last time. And obviously we'll go through squad by player of the squad. We've got the UEFA.com squad list here. Actually, first, let's talk about Roberto Mancini. And this is this tweet that Alessandro Villa from, he works at Intermedia House, actually, very pertinent, perfect tweet to sum up, the work that Roberto Mancini has done. And for Roberto Mancini, his rating can only be a 10. Roberto Mancini deserves a 10 in my eyes. The work that he's done to take this team from where we were, the dark ages, the worst period of this Italian national team after Gianpiero Ventura's awful, shoddy, disgusting work that he did. Italy not making the World Cup in 2018, but in general, even if that Italy team made the World Cup, the style of play, there was no confidence in the team. People didn't used to tune in to the Azzurri matches. La Nazionale wasn't, a priority for people. The matches were a drag. The squads were a drag. It was just, there was no connection with the fans. Roberto Mancini came in, left his high-paying job at Zenit St. Petersburg in Russia, where he could have been, just cushy, just been there earning his money and, winning easy titles out there in Russia. But no, came in for a difficult job, a rebuilding job, paid less than he was at Zenit. Let's not forget that he's going to be paid. I think he cut his wages in almost half, I think, from what he was earning at Zenit to take this Italy job. But it was always his dreams a lot of managers, the pinnacle of management is the national team job. A lot of them usually take them right at the end of their career because it is kind of like a retirement job almost. You don't take that when you're a young manager. But yeah, Mancini, a man with a curriculum that's very hard to beat in world football. As a player, he won the only Scudetto for Sampdoria, and then the Scudetto at Lazio after 26 years. And then as a manager, carved out a career as a top class manager. Obviously, Inter legend after he came in, obviously the Calciopoli scandal, but winning the title after 17 years at Inter and then building that dynasty, building the foundations for that treble team, for Jose Mourinho's treble team. But he was the one that built those foundations with that team, with that winning mentality he brought in, the players he brought in, the style of play he brought in. So he was definitely the building block, and Inter fans will always remember him fondly for that. And then the Premier League, historic Premier League for Manchester City. Man City, after 45 years winning the title, a team that, was a mid-table team in England, or, even relegation battling team at times, obviously with a lot of money being backed, but he was the guy who changed everything for Man City. And then now, after 53 years, bringing in the European Championship title back to Italy, bringing it back to Rome. The history man, great, way to put it by Alex Villa there. That's what he is. He's the history man. He's created history now. And yeah, you could say in the tournament there has been some moments against Austria, the way Italy, maybe didn't look at their best, and tactically did he get outsmarted. Against Spain, Luis Enrique definitely outsmarted him. That false nine system, Mancini didn't know what to do. He was definitely outsmarted tactically there. Southgate in, the first, you could say the 50, 60 minutes of the match, tactically outsmarted Mancini. He didn't know, well, he knew what to do, but he didn't quite counteract that wing-back system. We got outnumbered for that first goal. And, England looked pretty comfortable. But overall, man, highest scoring team in the tournament, best football, attractively, visually played in the tournament, solid defensively, brought back enthusiasm, brought this team together, this team so close together, close-knit group, really good. They're all, so close. You could tell, on the pitch, off the pitch, they're just a great team. And yeah, for me, bringing the title home against, the way Italy won favorites going into this tournament. I know Anthony, when we made the video back in March, when we talked about the squad, we were saying, semi-final minimum, but the City team can win it. But most people weren't particularly confident. I felt like other squads were superior to this Italy team. So his coaching work definitely elevated this team, I think, to a level higher than it actually is. And it showed, like, coaches like Luis Enrique and Mancini have shown that in a short space of time you can have an impact on this national teams. Usually national teams, you're not able to make much of an impact with these teams because you don't have much time. You don't have the players usually come to you already zapped of energy because they're coming from their clubs. But Mancini managed to create something, a club. It almost feels like a club, this Italian national team. So yeah, for me, Mancini is a 10 out of 10. Yeah, no biggie agrees too. King Dorian in the house as always usual. So respect the boss, Mancini. This man took Italy from the mud to European Championship. 10 easy. Yes, sir. Completely agree. That Sampdoria Lazio squad, though, yeah, Serie A in the 90s was something else. But that's what elevates those titles as well as a player. There was a lot of competition back in those days. The Southgate really outsmart Mancini? Was it that Italy were rattled from the early goal? But yeah, that early goal is in terms of the fact that Shaw was completely unmarked. It was because they were outnumbered from the early stages. It was from wing back of Trippier to the other wing back from Shaw, and you could say that maybe it wasn't tactically outsmarted, but someone needed to be covering that run, whether it was Barella, or was Di Lorenzo, or was Chiesa who had to come back. Something was missed in that goal. Or you could say they were just, it was early doors and Italy were just rattled. You could say that. But in the first 50, 60 minutes, England looked very comfortable. Physically, they were stronger. But yeah, in the end, Mancini came through with the changes and the subs, and Southgate bottled it. But yeah, Mancini, 10 out of 10 for me. Let's move on to the players. I'm not going to spend too much time on the guys that, didn't play too long, starting off with, the second goalkeeper, Salvatore Sirigu, one appearance, and it was that short appearance that he got. Was it the Wales match? It was like almost a charity appearance that Mancini gave him, taking off Donnarumma. It was funny when that moment happened. It was like, wow, this guy, is very confident, but also when we're talking about Mancini getting, putting this team together, he made every single member of the team feel important. And 25 out of the 26 players got minutes onto the pitch, and Sirigu was one of those who got those charity minutes. I was going to give him a charity 6, because he didn't have to do anything. I mean, he was one of the most experienced players out there. 34 years of age. He's been to previous tournaments with Italy. Experience with PSG. I'm sure he said some important words to Donnarumma or the guys when it was needed. So yeah, Sirigu, not much to say. 6 there. Alex Meret, we'll give him a 6 as well, just for being there, being part of the squad, being a pretty face. I didn't even see this guy, much, even celebrating or social media. I don't really see this guy active, so I can't even say anything. I thought it should have been Alessio Cragno to be taken in that spot, to be honest. But yeah, happy for him. Gets his Euro 2020 medal, and yeah, or he can take it back to Napoli. So he gets a 6. Now, Gigio, Gianluigi Donnarumma. What are we giving this guy? Player of the tournament, Euro 2020 player of the tournament, the first keeper ever to win player of the tournament. And I think you could argue whether it was deserved or not to win player of the tournament. It was definitely the goalkeeper of the tournament, in my opinion. 22 years of age, the sky, the space, Elon Musk space, or Richard Branson space, Mars, the galaxy is the ceiling for this guy. He really could go down as one of the greatest of all time if he keeps his head screwed on, if he doesn't let Mino and other things distract him too much, the money distract him too much. Only conceded 4 goals, but let's not forget, only 2 of those were in open play, and none of those he could have done anything about. The Luke Shaw goal in the final, there's nothing he could do there. Hit the post and went in. That corner goal Kaladzic scored for Austria against him, near post. Maybe you could say he could have done something there, but it was a bit of a free goal. Like, no one expected him to get a header there and actually sneak in. And then the other was the Lukaku penalty. Can't do anything there. And then what was the other goal that escapes me right now? What was the other goal? If you could just, guys, remind me what the other goal, because we conceded 4 goals, so those were 3 there. But yeah, completely escapes my mind. But yeah, Gigio for me. Yeah, I'll give him a 9. Give him a 9 out of 10. I think 9 out of 10. Yes, George, that's it. Morata, how could I forget the Morata goal in open play? And again, yeah, there he couldn't do much. It was a good, smart finish from Morata on his left foot. Yeah, 9 out of 10 for Donnarumma. I'm happy with that. There's not much to say there. Amazing performance. Nothing. Even with his feet, this guy, that's his weakness. I didn't really see many moments where I was scared or like worried about his, game with his feet. He's improved there. Dida is his coach at Milan. He's the goalkeeping coach, and you can see he's made improvements with his feet over the last few years, which is his, weakness. And I think it will always remain his weakness because he's just so big. But then there's also such a big positive when he's at the penalties, guys. When you see this guy, and my workmates, my colleagues, were pointing out at work today. My English colleagues were like, "That English guy is so massive in goal." And it's like, yeah, I mean, he's about 6'4", 6'5", but not just in height. This guy is broad, like he's massive shoulders, big arms, big legs. Like he's just an intimidating picture, an intimidating person to see when you're lining up for your penalty. And I'm sure that's a factor of England missing a lot of those penalties. Rashford lining up, and those guys. You have to just get the penalties spot on your penalty has to be like the Harry Kane on the Harry Maguire for it to go in, because otherwise Gigio with his massive frame will get there, and he's so athletic. So yeah, for me, 9 out of 10. Yeah, as George says, man, that save with his left hand against De Bruyne, and I mean, that was mainly about his positioning, but just the strength in his wrist to do that. Like, a lot of keepers would have, parried that back into the path, or it could have like gone in for the power or something, but no, Gigio's strong wrist and that save against the Austria as well stands out. I think there was a half volley from someone outside the box, and he just makes it look so easy. That's the scary part with him. It's like the guy is just like hit the hardest shot of his life into the corner, and this guy is just like nonchalantly just like, spreads his eagle-like, his spread is like so wide. Absolutely crazy. It's just an impressive specimen of a keeper, and yeah, Milan losing him on the free is hilarious. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Gigio, 9 out of 10. Seems like you guys agree. I think, if you could give him 9.5, even 10, I wouldn't disagree. But for me, a 9 out of 10 is a fair rating for him. Now we get to the to a little bit trickier ones. Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Now he's received a little bit of criticism over social media. I've seen on Twitter a lot of people, singled him out. Some people thought he should have done better on the Luke Shaw goal, but I don't think it was his fault, that goal. I feel like he absorbed that run in from Mason Mount and Sterling and Kane. They made them run into the box, and he had to make up the numbers. So I think it should have been one of the either Chiesa or one of the midfielders coming in to track that run from Luke Shaw. And then he also had he struggled with Jeremy Doku, didn't he? With Jeremy Doku, he was flaming him, but I don't think that's the thing. Like, do you feel like someone else in that position would have done better? Like, I don't feel like if you put Toloi or especially Florenzi in that position, they would have done any better. And then going forward, I don't think that's his role in this team. For Napoli, he does get forward quite well, but for Italy, we've seen he's the one that's kind of tucked in. He has to stay back. So for me, I don't want to be particularly harsh on him. And I saw a tweet from Skorka earlier that showed, actually, let's see if I can pull it up, because I think he completed the most tackles in the tournament as well, which is is pretty impressive. Oh, here it is. So most shots, it was Patrick Schick. Come on, keep going. Loading. Most interceptions is Jorginho. Oh, the internet is being really slow. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw the stat that he completed the most tackles, and yeah, I don't want to be too harsh on him. I think I'd give, what are you guys saying? 7. Someone may is saying 7 is fair. He has some mistakes, but he was decent. Yeah. I think overall, I'd give him a 7. I think 7 is fair because he was there, apart from the first match where Florenzi started and he came in. And since that Florenzi injury, he never left. And I always said, even before the tournament started, I wanted him to be the starting right back over Florenzi. Had some struggles, gave away that penalty. Yeah, I think 7. George says 7. Solid tournament. The King Dorian says 6.5. I saw a picture of Di Lorenzo smoking. Yeah, I saw that as well. He seems like he's got a bit of a wild side to him. I think he is a Southern Italian, so he has obviously got a little bit of a wild side to him. But yeah, I think 7. Giovanni Di Lorenzo, we'll give him a 7 out of 10. I'm happy with that. Solid tournament. Nothing outstanding. I don't think he's gonna get Premier League clubs or big clubs coming in for him after this. But just solid tournament. Did his job. Now, Giorgio Chiellini, King Kong. 5 appearances at the age of 36, which is more than I actually expected from him. I thought this guy, is only going to come in for the big matches because he's been struggling with his injuries at Juve. What a tournament, guys! This guy's cemented his place as one of the all-time greats. I feel for Italy. There was a great tweet by David Amoyal which, questioned whether he should be upgraded into, the upper echelon of Italian defenders. Obviously not at the level of the Gaetano Scireas and, the Nestas and the Maldinis maybe, but maybe just underneath those guys, with the obviously maybe Cannavaro still maybe up ahead just because of the World Cup and the Ballon d'Or. But in terms of career-wise, guys, Chiellini's, for me, I maintain, I think he's the best Italian defender of this generation, easily. Many Scudettos. Obviously, as the Inter fan, I hate it, but he's the building block of those 9 Scudetti they won in a row. He is the one that was carrying Bonucci for a lot of his career. And he, the captain of this Italy team. And he obviously got injured in that one of the matches, and he had to sit out for a couple of matches. But that was not really his fault. What are we saying for Giorgio King Kong Chiellini? What are you guys telling me? He's a Juve man. We gotta hand it to him, as King Darren says. 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I like that. I don't know what the 0.5 would be. I would say, 8.5. I guess you could say, just because of the injury, and because we had to kind of manage his injury a little bit. But there was no mistakes from him. Like, I would just straight up give him a 9. As Braden says here, no mistakes leading to shots. Didn't get dribbled past. Pretty much perfect. Showed the world what a tactical foul is. That moment with Saka, him pulling back Saka. I want to frame that. I want to get it framed somewhere in my room. It's an all-time shithousery moment that's getting English people triggered all over the world. So yeah, for me, another 9 out of 10. Like Donnarumma, I think he has to. It's just a perfect, pretty much perfect tournament from him. All he needed to add the cherry on top would be a goal, which he almost got. Was it the Switzerland match or was it the Austria match? That was called off. He had a goal from a set piece, but it was given off for a handball. So yeah, for me, Hamza says a 10. I wouldn't blame you if you want to say a 10 for him. Dusan Zdravkovic says 9 or 8.5. Yeah, I'm giving him a 9. 9 Serie A's, 2 UCL finals, 2 Euro finals. Some might not admit it, but he's a defending legend. Spot on, bro. That is spot on. Yeah, sorry, Hamza. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's a 10. I feel like it's a 9. 9 feels right for me, as George agrees as well. Moving on to the next one. This is another high one. This is going to be another high one. Leonardo Spinazzola. Spina. Obviously, this guy would have been front runner for player of the tournament for me. He was a front runner to be, Italy player of the tournament, Italy MVP. But what an unfortunate injury, in that Belgium match. So sad to see his Achilles pop. 4 matches played, no goals scored, but his contribution, his general play was so good. What was it here? We've got some stats. He was 12th in the whole tournament for shot creating actions, with 17 shot creating actions. And then also, what's this one? Box. He was 4th with 11 carries into the penalty yard. He's a wing back, guys. Let's not forget. Where is he in terms of? He's just ranking really high for a lot of the carries as well. There was one. Where is it? Dribbles. Oh yeah, dribbles. Let's see how many he succeeded with dribbles. He's 9th in successful dribbles as well. Come on, load. It's being weird. Or is he? No, he's 14th for successful dribble with 9. But yeah, still, ranking high with some of the best out there. So he's just been so impressive, and he was the top speed. He recorded the top speed of the whole tournament with 33.8. So just a great tournament, and he's the one who has got some big clubs looking at him for sure. He's the one that Roma, obviously the injury doesn't help for him and his injury record, but I'm sure a lot of people are looking at him now. RB.com says 9 for Spina. Wow. 9.7, Hamza says. 9.5 from Indra Hari. 9.01. What's the 0.1 for? 9.5. You knew when you had the ball that you had to make something happen, like Chiesa, spot on. He was one of the best. Never seen him play before, but he's one of the most exciting to watch. Definitely, he was. When he got the ball, you were like on the edge of your seat. Like you knew that this guy was going to try to do something. 9. Everyone's saying 9. Dusan says 9. Injury is unfortunate, but to get to him, 9. I'm going to be a little bit harsh here. I'm going to give him, just because I know it's not his fault, the injury, but he couldn't contribute, past the semi-final and the final. So I have to give him. I feel like I can't give him a 9 because that was the crunch times of the tournament. So I'm going to give him an 8.5 for Spina, just because the injury. But obviously, he's definitely going to be one of the best players in the tournament. And yeah, I said this when he got injured as well after the Belgium match. People were moaning like, "Oh, Inter missed out, this," but this is why you have to do medicals, and this is why they're very in depth, and this is why maybe Marotta or someone. It was apparently someone rejected the deal, fell through at the end because they weren't sure about his medical aspect, and this was the reason. Because this is his history, and this is why you do those medicals, those in-depth medicals. So you could say it was maybe a blessing in disguise, but it would have been great to see this guy under Conte. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for him. Yeah, you can't blame him for his injuries, as I said, but he wasn't there for the 2 most important matches. So I think 8.5 is fair. Sorry, George. I know everyone's going for a 9.5. But for me, I'm going for an 8.5. But great player to watch, man. I'm happy that the world got to know about Spinazzola. I've always really liked him, and he definitely stepped up more than I expected. And now you see, he played the same amount of games as Emerson, or Emerson had the same amount of appearances. I think one of the appearances for Emerson was a substitute appearance. Weirdly, Emerson is 2 years younger than Spinazzola, which feels weird looking at that. Which is, Emerson feels like he's been around for longer than Spinazzola, and yeah, the way Spinazzola plays in this youthful, exuberant, energetic way feels like he's younger than 28. But yeah, he really played like he's in his peak years. What we're giving Emerson, Emerson obviously wasn't the protagonist as Spinazzola, but had to step up in the key moments of the tournament. When Spinazzola wasn't there. Against Wales, he was okay. That was the first match he started. He didn't add much. If you could definitely feel the step down, but after the Belgium match, when he had to come in, against Spain and against England, I felt like he did step up. Obviously, not to the level of Spinazzola. You just can't hit those heights. He doesn't have that capability, 1v1, that pace. But I feel like he did okay. I didn't feel like we lost anything defensively, which was the thing I was worried about Emerson. I was worried about him defensively. Especially because he doesn't play much for Chelsea. That rustiness I thought maybe could hit us, but that's another reason why I'm giving Mancini a 10, because he even these fringe players came in and did their job. So for Emerson, what are we saying? What are we saying for Emerson? Emerson Palmieri 6. I gave Sirigu a 6. I feel like I can't give Emerson a 6. He did his job at the end of the day. He didn't do anything wrong. I don't think he did anything. Yeah, I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals, but he didn't really create any of the goals. He wasn't, I don't think he created much. Albicom says 7. The fact that Chelsea demands 25 million is next level bullshit. Yeah, that's a different subject, the way that Chelsea negotiate. 6.9 just because Italy won the Euro. 7.5. As Dusan says, he had his moment. 6.5 or 7. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as maybe most people were thinking. I think, a lot of people were just thinking the worst. When Spinazzola got injured, it was like, oh, man, Emerson's going to have to play now. Whereas if you ask people before the tournament, and that was the same as well, it was a pretty 50-50 between Spinazzola and Emerson. So it's funny how perspective can change so quickly. But yeah, I think 7 is fair. As we said with Di Lorenzo played more matches, but maybe he was at fault for a couple of more, defensive issues, whereas Emerson played less games, so he didn't really have as much time to get, at fault for things. I guess you could say 6. Yeah, I think 6 is harsh because I gave 6 to Sirigu and Meret. Those guys didn't do anything, so it has to be at least a 6.5 if you look at Emerson. I'm going to give him a 7. Maybe 6.5 is more fair, but I just feel like stepping in cold and having big shoes to fill, not playing much for Chelsea throughout the season. I think he did okay, guys. I think he did okay. I think I'm not going to get so specific with the ratings like 6.7, these minute decimal places, but I'm gonna give him a 7. Yeah, DiMarco, I think it's probably, if you're talking about Inter, it's probably a better gamble, especially talking about a financial situation moving forward. And yeah, really and truly 10 million. He's a 10 million type of player, 10, 50 million at most. But Chelsea are just ridiculous with their negotiation tactics. Marina, I forgot what her second name is. It's a very complicated Russian or Eastern European name, but yeah, she's a very difficult negotiator, the sporting director. But yeah, Emerson a 7. Acerbi played 3 matches, 33 years old, came in cold in one of the matches to replace Chiellini, did well. Then against was it Austria or Wales? He wasn't so impressive. Yeah, Wales, when he was next to Bastoni, he wasn't so impressive. But overall, didn't have to do much, stepped in when needed. I think I'm going to give him a 6.5 for Acerbi, only 3 appearances. Yeah, what are you guys saying? 6.5 for Acerbi? 6.5, I'm saying 6.89163. 7 for Acerbi. Hamza says, yeah, I wouldn't be mad if you say 7 as well for Acerbi. It's just that I'm salty that Bastoni didn't get more minutes because of him. 6.831472. RB Comps is going very, very specific, very accurate with his ratings. But yeah, for me, Acerbi is a 6.5. I don't think there's too much to discuss there. Yeah, Braden agrees as well. 6.5 at most. Moving on to Leonardo Bonucci now. This is a very interesting one. I want to see what you guys say. Obviously, he's got 7 appearances, which I think all 7 are starts actually. So he's right up there in terms of minutes played for Italy. 1 goal, and really, really important goal. It doesn't get more important than that. The equalizing goal in the second half against England in the final. Sciacquate Villabocca, his trademark celebration, and he is the player that I've grown to love over this tournament. This is the magic of international tournament and of La Nazionale. These players, Chiellini, I've always low-key, even though he's, annoying as hell, knows the dark arts, super annoying against Inter, but I've always low-key loved Chiellini because I've always really appreciated him as a defender. With Bonucci, I've always appreciated his ball-playing ability, his passing ability, his technical ability. When he plays in the middle of a 3, he's one of the best, I think, in world football. But I've always had doubts about him in the back 4, which we saw when he moved to AC Milan. There's always been that narrative that Chiellini and Barzagli have carried him, especially Chiellini. And I've always kind of bought into that narrative, and I was worried about him in coming into this tournament. But he proved me wrong. He was absolutely rock solid at the back. And you could say that he was right up there with Donnarumma as player of the tournament because of the minutes he played, because of the key goal he scored. But his performances have been just absolutely stellar against Spain. I think he was my man of the match against Spain. Even against against England, you could say he was right up there to be man of the match. He's just been absolutely stellar in this tournament. He's been one of the leaders in terms of talking on the pitch. Mo always comes on the channel and always points that out. The way he communicates he's just, yeah, he's taken his reputation to the next level in this tournament. And yeah, I think he has to be with the with Chiellini. We gave Chiellini a 9. I think Bonucci also, but has to be a 9. Probably could have had 2 assists with his long balls as well. Yeah, he's continued his ball playing ability. The magic of Inter Primavera. Yeah, let's not forget that Bonucci is an Inter Primavera product. Not many people remember that. Even though he's one of my most disliked players of all time, just because of his off-field antics and the way he behaves. He's a little bit of a dick, but for me, he's a 9, because if Chiellini was a 9, I think he's even marginally better than Chiellini, because he was there for every single match. Even the Wales match, he played that first half and then got some rest. So this guy took his body to the limit. He's 34 years old, took his body to the limit after a long season with Juventus. Yeah, I don't think it's controversial. I'm saying the same thing. I feel like he's at a marginally better tournament than Chiellini just because of the minutes he's played. He's always there. He didn't get injured. Got the goal. His passing has been exquisite pretty much the whole tournament. Yeah, I think Bonucci, solid 9. Hamza says 8.5. Yeah, I wouldn't, we can disagree on this 0.5 in between, but I think he has to be in that 9.5, 8.5 category. Mohamed Waqas says he was the best outfield player in the final, controlled the tempo because of his long-range passing ability, pinned English midfield. Yeah, spot on, Mohamed. Dusan also agrees the 9. He has arranged for his son meeting with Belotti, rival to his club. Yeah, his son is weirdly a Torino fan for some reason. And yeah, the way he told the camera after Italy won, it's coming to Rome. I love him for that. In general, he's been firing shots at the English media and fans after the win as well. So I really like that about him, and my love for him has grown. But don't worry, guys. 2 or 3 weeks time after this dies down, we're back to usual business, hating Bonucci and Chiellini and Chiesa, all of these man. But yeah, Bonucci, 9 out of 10. Let's move on to the next guy in the squad list. Bastoni. As Interisti, 22 years old, only one appearance, the 90 minutes he got against Wales, which were a good 90 minutes. Yeah, as I said, I'm salty they didn't get more minutes. I felt like he deserved more minutes than Acerbi in this tournament, but I'm not mad. Acerbi's experience obviously outweighs. I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give Bastoni a 7 just because he had that one appearance and he was completely fine. He created like 2 or 3 chances in that one match day. He showed his ability. I think he showed that he is going to be the guy after Chiellini retires from international team, that he's the guy to step up in that spot. So 7 out of 10 for me for Bastoni. I'm gonna fly through these. Florenzi 6.5, or actually, yeah, Florenzi 6.5. I can't give him the same as Sirigu and Meret because those guys didn't do anything at all. So at least Florenzi contributed in some way. He started. He wasn't the greatest, but at least he had some contribution on the pitch. Not much, but some contribution there. So yeah, 6.5 for Florenzi. And same for Toloi, 30 years of age, 4 appearances, mostly substitute appearances. Yeah, 6.5 for Toloi. I don't want to spend too much on these guys. They didn't really do much. Now, these are getting more interesting. Locatelli, 5 appearances, 2 goals scored, 23 years of age, really showed up. Now, this is a guy that the big clubs are looking at after this tournament. What are you guys saying for Locatelli? Massive drop off after the group stage. Came into the group stage, first 2 matches, showing up, showing the world who he is. And then when Verratti came in, we really didn't see much of him. But he had a solid tournament overall. It's not his fault that Mancini decided to go with Verratti afterwards. Obviously missed that penalty as well against Spain, but we're not gonna downgrade him for that. What are we saying? What are we saying for Locatelli, guys? Loca. Yeah, you guys. Yes, I agree. Bastoni should have got more minutes. Bastoni 10 just because he plays for the right club. Yeah, Locatelli 8 did well. Came when he came off the bench as well. True. Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards a 7.5 with Darian because of yeah, but it's not really his fault. I think the fact that when a monster like Verratti is in the squad, there's not much you can really do. There is the 7.5. Besides the 2 goals, didn't do a ton, but very solid. Change it to a 5 if he joins Rube. I think let's I'm gonna go 7.5 for Locatelli. Yeah, 7.5 for Locatelli. 2 goals and some key passes, some great between the line passing. I enjoyed his tournament for sure. No, actually, let's go 8. Let's go 8 because if we gave Di Lorenzo and Emerson 7, I feel like he had an 8 worthy tournament. Yeah. I'm the first YouTuber to pronounce your name correctly. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. No one. Well, if your name is of Indian or Pakistani descent, so I have to pronounce it correctly. What are we going for? Locatelli 8. Let's be 8. Let's be nice. 8 for Locatelli. And then moving on to the guy who took his spot in the team, Marco Verratti. Played 5 matches, 28 years of age, coming into his peak. Was injured at the beginning of the tournament when Locatelli was doing bits. So he has to be, for me, another 8. Well, actually, if he is an 8, then this is where, when you start to compare the ratings. Well, he has to be an 8 as well for me. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, he doesn't score any goals. But he was the highest, he had the most assists in the Italy team, if I am correct. Where is it? Player stats somewhere. He had 3 assists. He had 3 assists, Verratti. He had the most chances created as well, I believe, shot creating actions alongside. He had 26 shot creating actions, 1 below Insigne. And let's not forget, he missed the first 2 matches. I think Verratti was great. And in the final as well, I feel like he was the one that really stepped up against the English midfield and started to, dominate the midfield. His passing is just a lot of people. I feel like he had a bit of an underrated tournament. So for me, Verratti is an 8 out of 10 tournament. Zizou says 8.5. Yeah. If Loca is an 8, then Verratti is an 8.5. There are levels in football. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Yeah, I that's why I agree. I feel like Verratti, even though he didn't add those goals that Locatelli did, for me, Verratti showed that a little bit more. He showed why he's one of the few truly world-class players in this team. So yeah, for me, you guys are right. I'm going to change to 8.5 for Verratti. You might not realize how good he is till you check the stats exactly. But even if you don't check the stats, the eye test for me, if you watch Verratti closely, he's the one that makes the team tick. He, as Mo pointed out in the final, he's the one who came in as the regista next to Jorginho. Castrovilli, he's, I think, alongside Meret and Sirigu, we literally didn't have to do anything. Last minute call up to the team. I would have liked to see more minutes from him rather than Cristante, to be honest. But yeah, he's a 6 out of 10 just to be there. Oops, no. Oh, I pressed it by mistake. Yeah, 6 out of 10. I don't want to discuss Castrovilli too much. Now, Jorginho, ever present, most minutes in the team, most kilometers covered, and most interceptions at the tournament. I think he's definitely one of the front runners for player of the tournament or Italy's player of the tournament. I think he's another 9 out of 10 or 8.5. What do you guys think, Jorginho? Getting Ballon d'Or shouts, which I don't think he's going to get, but I can understand why he is getting those. 8.5. Glad he is a trophy. Yeah, still talking about Verratti. Yeah, I think he's deserved that trophy as well, Verratti, to elevate his reputation. But yeah, for me, Jorginho is another 9. Jorginho is another 9. Yeah, 8.5. Hamza says. Yeah, I agree. 8.5. No, 9. 9. Let's go with 9 for Jorginho. One of the candidates, I think, for player of the tournament. And I think he's definitely enhanced his reputation as well. Premier League fans need to respect him properly. What about Pessina? 2 goals from 4 appearances. He was, the jolly off the bench for Mancini. 24 years of age, another late addition to the team. I think he deserves a 7.5. I'm giving Pessina 7.5. Again, there's not much he can do with the fact that he's, the bench player, but his contribution off the bench has been vital. His poems, his Instagram poems have been, a nice little addition. His off-the-pitch persona is very interesting. Mr. Pornhub sponsor, crazy character. So yeah, I'm giving Pessina 6.5. Sorry, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more quick through the next ones because I have spent a lot of time. I don't want to spend too long on this video. Chiesa, another possible player of the tournament candidate, but I'm not going to give him a 9 like Bonucci, Jorginho, and Chiellini. And Donnarumma. I feel like he's just a step below, like Verratti, at the 8.5 category. 7 appearances, 2 goals, but nice goals. What a goal against Spain and against England. At some points, it felt like it was just Chiesa against them. I think he's announced himself again. Another one of those players that's announced himself to the world. Stepped up, I think, to the world-class category. Took the place from Berardi, who started off as the star. So yeah, Chiesa for me, 8.5. Cristante, I'm going to give him a 6.5. 6 appearances, no goals, mostly substitutes. I was shocked when he came on in the final, Mancini, but it paid off. He won that header that flicked onto for the eventual Bonucci goal. Technically not great, we saw that, but yeah, 6.5 for me, Cristante. Now, this is the one that we can spend a little bit more time on. Nicolo Barella had a bit of an up and down tournament, but he's just looked exhausted. Long 1 year and a half for him has been at Inter, playing almost every single match. Conte's churned every single thing out of Barella. 1 goal, but what a goal it was against Belgium. Had a bit of a stinker in that final, in my opinion. Didn't have a great game against Spain as well. Again, he looked really tired. But against Belgium, he was man of the match. In the group stages, he wasn't, man of the match, but he was actually quite underrated, I felt, in the group stages. He was doing a lot of the dirty work, a lot of interceptions, a lot of tackles, a lot of, running as always. It's a difficult one. I don't feel like he's at the tournament that I was expecting him to have. But obviously, his work off the ball also needs to be talked about. Gagliardini would have done the same job as Cristante. Yeah, you could argue that. 8 for Barella, 1 goal, 2 assists. 8. Yeah. I mean, if we gave, Locatelli we gave Locatelli an 8. So if we gave Locatelli an 8, I think just Barella, in terms of maybe he didn't get those goals, those 2 goals like Locatelli, maybe there wasn't as eye-catching as Locatelli, and maybe he didn't perform as well as we wanted to. But I think 7 is harsh in terms of what we expect from Barella. As Interisti, we expect a lot more from Barella. But I think 7 would be a bit too harsh. I think 7.5 is fair. And yeah, as King Darian says, he just needs a holiday, the poor guy. He just looks absolutely exhausted. Yeah, another 7.5. Before the Spain match, he was great. But yeah, you just see we call him, the Duracell, the Energizer Bunny. But you just see the batteries have run out, the guy. He needs that 3-week break that he's going to get now. And hopefully he's going to rest up properly, enjoy his time off. So yeah, Nicolo Barella, 7.5. Bernardeschi, surprisingly, one of the guys that I wouldn't have put into the squad, but I knew that Mancini was going to put in just because he seems to love him and trust him. 4 appearances, mostly substitute appearances. But do you know what? His penalties were ice cold. His penalty against Spain, one of the best penalties of the tournament. And then against England as well, straight down the middle, ice cold. Not the greatest against Wales. He was okay. The match he started, came on in the other matches. He was okay. Nothing too great, but I'm leaning towards a 7 just because of his penalties. You know, with Bernardeschi. And I know if you asked me before the tournament, I would be surprised if you said I was going to give him Bernardeschi a 7. So actually, yeah, he's surprisingly. I want to say he was pretty good, but he was better than you would expect, or I would expect from Berna. So, yeah, I'm gonna give Bernardeschi a 7, just really because he wasn't damaging when he came on. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't give stupid penalty like he can do at Juve sometimes. And yeah, 7 for Bernardeschi. Belotti now. He was obviously the number, he was the backup to Immobile. We knew that coming into the tournament. There was talk who's going to start, but from this first match, we knew it was going to be Immobile. I had no problems with that. 0 goals. Didn't really get many chances, to be honest. Coming on mainly as an impact sub, but I don't think he really is an impact sub. That's not his game. But I was not impressed with his hold-up play. Like, there was some games where it was decent, like against Wales, it was okay. But then he came against Spain. Against Spain, I don't think it was as good as it should have been. Against England, I think it was a little bit better. He could battle up against Maguire and Stones a little bit more. Against Belgium, he was better when he came on. He battled nicely, won a few tackles. But I was not impressed with Belotti's tournament, personally speaking. You guys might disagree with me, but yeah. 6.5, I'm leaning with Belotti. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 6.5, Belotti, and missed the penalty against England as well. So for me, as the captain of Torino, I would expect more, especially, this is the transfer window where clubs are looking to buy him. It looks like he's in the last year of his contract with Torino. This is the time to leave, if it is any time to leave for Belotti, and he didn't do himself any good. His stock market price went down for sure. Wow, 5 for Belotti. Nah, as I said, I'm not going to give anything below 6 here. 6.9, 6.5. Yeah, I think 6.5 is the right for me. Belotti is a 6.5. I just don't think he contributed enough to this team. I think he deserved more minutes. I think there were matches where Mancini should have started him ahead of Immobile, but yeah. Lorenzo Insigne. Now, this is a funny one because when I thought about it, Insigne had a bit of an underwhelming tournament, but I've seen a few non-Italian, English fans being impressed with him, and I saw a few people putting him in the team of the tournament, and I thought about it, and I looked at the stats. Insigne actually had a decent tournament when you look past the, frustrating matches he had. He scored 2 goals, which were nice goals, especially the Belgium one, important and great goal, one of the goals of the tournament. But as I was pointing out earlier, he's got the most shot-creating actions of the whole tournament as well, and he has the most carries into the 18-yard box as well, I believe. Where is it? Oh no, this is the final third. These are the box into the box. Yeah, Lorenzo Insigne alongside Joachim Mæhle, he's got 12 carries into the. And the reason why Spinazzola was able to thrive so well was because of Insigne and the way he was coming inside and giving defenders nightmares. They didn't know whether to mark him on the inside or the outside. The way he linked up with Immobile, with Verratti on that side, with Locatelli. I think Insigne had a pretty underrated tournament in my opinion. So I'm leaning with Zizou here. I think Insigne deserves an 8. I think he had a good tournament overall. Hamza says 7.5. Yeah, that's another fair one. So for me, Insigne had an 8. Yeah, I'm giving Insigne an 8. King Darian says 7.5. A bit frustrating, but the best forward. Yeah, you could say that. I think him and Chiesa were the best forwards, and Dusan agrees as well. Yeah, Insigne, Lorenzo Lollo Insigne 8. Berardi started off the tournament as the starter, came in after a good season with Sassuolo, a good pre-tournament vibe with Italy. I think he had like 4 goals in the last 5 matches with Italy before the tournament. And I felt like he deserved to be the starter on that right wing ahead of Chiesa. Finished the tournament with 0 goals, which is disappointing. But he created a lot of chances, especially in the group stage. I think he was quite lively, created the first goal, the own goal came from his cross. That Locatelli goal came from his cross. But I saw a stat today that said he had the lowest dribble success rate of the whole tournament. So De Bruyne had the highest with 90%, and Berardi had 10%, that's pretty embarrassing for a winger. And I think he has been a little bit exposed in this tournament. This is what we're talking about. There's levels to the game, and the reason why Chiesa was the star when the knockout games came. Great for Sassuolo, great for Serie A. I still love him, Berardi, as a player. I really like him. I feel like he's going to become the Di Natale to Sassuolo. He's going to be there for ages, but I think that's his level. Sassuolo. But overall, he came on against England, had a good impact as a substitute, as a false 9, almost scored what could have been the goal of the tournament if he scored that off the long ball from Bonucci. But a little bit too much of a one-trick pony, a lot of speculative shots from him. I think I'm going to give Berardi a 7. I think a 7, I think he had like a Di Lorenzo, Emerson level match. You could give him a 7.5, but I think minimum 7. Yeah, but he worked hard. Yeah, he worked hard, and he took his penalty well as well against England. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna give Berardi a 7. Good contribution, but nothing particularly outstanding. I was expecting a little bit more from Berardi. Actually, I was hoping for a goal or something from him. So yeah, 7 for me for Mimmo Berardi. Now, this one's an interesting one. Ciro Immobile. 6 matches played, coming off a good season with Lazio. Big, cloud hanging over his head. Should it be Belotti? Should it be Immobile? 2 goals scored, which is not great return, to be honest. And all those goals came in the group stage. So when the big matches came, then the goals dried up, as a lot of people predicted before coming into the tournament. And I talked about his big match kind of tendencies to kind of shy away. But as I said, coming into the tournament, I don't care if Belotti and Immobile end up with 0 goals as long as they contribute off the ball. And Immobile contributed off the ball. We saw he was pressing well. He was leading the line in terms of pressing. This Italian team's presses high. But his link-up play just wasn't good for most of the time. He was okay a lot of times linking up with Insigne and, Spinazzola at times. But in general, his touch, his hold-up play was not good in the big matches. Yeah, his physicality just, especially when you compare it to how Kane and Lukaku were playing, the big strikers were playing. It's just, the levels were shown compared to the other guys. But at the end of the day, he was there for a lot of the matches. He was started all the big matches. So you can't give him a bad rating, I feel like, in that sense. He did step up in a sense, but he wasn't the guy that we needed him to be. But again, yeah, his runs, like the Chiesa goal, came from his run and kind of causing that chaos in the box. So overall, I feel like Berardi, like Di Lorenzo, it was a good, okay tournament, or like a decent tournament, nothing outstanding. So I'm going to give him a 7. I think Immobile deserves a 7. Belotti was a 6.5. Immobile a 7. Still scored 2 goals, good off the ball. If we give him Berardi a 7, he can be a 7. Yeah, I think I agree with you. And obviously went viral for his diving against Belgium. Keanu says 4, Khalid says 3. But as I said, I'm not going to be giving harsh ratings on this one, even though I want to with Immobile. But I think fair rating is a 7. Immobile, he had a decent tournament. I don't want to, let's not be too harsh. His off the ball work was good. Giacomo Raspadori, one appearance against Wales. I think it's same as the other guys. I would have liked to see him more, like especially when Mancini was experimenting with his false 9 in some of the matches. I feel like you could have brought in him for, like, with his energy, youthful exuberance, rather than playing Insigne or Berardi as the false 9. I feel like he could have been brought in, and I hope in the future he gets more minutes. But yeah, 6 out of 10 for the Raspa goal. Yeah, that was those ratings for me, guys. And then now I enjoyed the interaction with you guys on the Pagelle, as the Italians call them. Raspadori 8 because he's linked with Inter and he's an Interista. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the future of the squad, but happy overall with the squad. Overall, amazing. You can give this whole Italy team a 9 out of 10, bringing the team home. Yeah, Mancho, we already gave him a 10 out of 10, bro, if you didn't see at the beginning. And then team of the tournament, quickly finishing. This was the team of the tournament. I'm pretty happy with it, honestly speaking. As I said, Donnarumma, it could have been Pickford, but I think it has to be Donnarumma in goal. Bonucci, it could have been Chiellini. Maguire won. You had the highest aerial win rate in the whole tournament, and I think he was really impressive. But he did miss matches through injury at the beginning, so if Chiellini missed matches, so did Maguire. So he could have put Bonucci and Chiellini as the partnership there. But I'm not mad at it. I think Maguire's fine. Walker, a right back, another one who I think he was only dribbled past once, and he was ever present pretty much for England. And he was just a beast recovering with his pace, cheat code. Well, you could give it to Joachim Mähle, who, either the left or the right side, or you could move Spinazzola to the right side. If you want to put in Luke Shaw. So for me, Luke Shaw also deserved, strong candidate, but I think Spinazzola deserves it. As I said, he was front runner for player of the tournament. And actually, the people who decided this team of the tournament, Cambiasso is part of that committee that decided it. So I like that there was, a little bit of an inter-factor in there. Fabio Capello was part of it. Who else? There was a few ex-players that David Moyes was part of it. So yeah, it was quite an interesting committee that decided they're quite respectable football people. So I do agree with most of it. So I said, yeah, Joachim Mähle, maybe you could put in there. Midfield, I think Jorginho had to be in there. Pedri won young player of the tournament, as I predicted after the Spain match, and so he has to be in there. Højbjerg is in there, but I think there's a case for Xhaka, there's a case for Verratti as well. There's a case for Pogba, you could say. Yeah, but I'm also happy. I didn't really tune into too many of the Denmark matches, so you guys tell me if maybe you could put Damsgaard, if you want to change the formation, put Damsgaard in there. So I'm not mad at that one. Once again, I'm happy with who they picked. Lukaku coming up trumps against Penaldo, against Harry Kane, against the Patrick Schick, which all of those guys you could have put in there. But I'm happy they put Lukaku because his contribution was really spectacular for Belgium without the goals. You can pass the goals. His hold-up play now is absolutely elite. But it could have been Patrick Schick or Harry Kane. But Harry Kane kind of was pretty stinky in the group stages and kind of stepped up later on. So, yeah, Sterling has to be in there. He was another front runner for player of the tournament. And then, yeah, Fede Chiesa, definitely great. Oh, wait, I didn't even share the screen with you guys. Apologies for that. I've been looking at the screen, but I didn't even share it. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy. Sterling, Lukaku, Chiesa up front. You could have put Damsgaard in there, or Schick, as I said. The Højbjerg one is the one that I think I would argue more than any of the other ones. I think, yeah, you could put someone like Verratti or Xhaka, Pogba. And then, yeah, I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with everyone else. What do you guys think in there? Kufau could have been there, or Sufau, however you say. But then, yeah, Czech Republic went out pretty early into the... Forsberg, that's a good one. Instead of Højbjerg, I think Forsberg would be a good one. Very good. Renato Sanchez, yeah, but he actually... Yeah, Portugal went out pretty early. And, he didn't even start, I think, the first couple of matches. So, yeah. KDB, once again, yeah, he missed out the beginning of the tournament and Belgium left out. But, yeah, his performances were really good. So, yeah. Overall, happy with the tournament. Yeah, I think Mele could be... You could put Mele over Sanjar. You could put him over Walker. But with Mele... The match against England, I remember him being beaten by Sterling a couple of times. Obviously, gave away that penalty against England, but he was very impressive, Mele. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. You could put Mele in there. I think for Serie A, let's put Mele in there just for the Serie A repping. But yeah, guys, that's me for today. Once again, it ran a bit longer than I wanted it. I wanted this video to be around 40-50 minutes, but I just enjoy interacting with you, getting all the comments, seeing everyone's ratings. I hope, it looks like everyone was pretty much on the same page from the Immobile one. This is the last Euro 2020 video I'm going to make. I promise. I'm going to go back to full Inter/Serie A. So if you are a Serie A/Italy fan, subscribe to the channel because I am going to make Serie A content. I do try to make Serie A content, but it's going to be a lot of Inter focus. Make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe because it helps with the algorithm, guys. I'm trying to get to 2K. We're almost at 2K subscribers, guys. I want to get to 2K before the new season starts. If you're watching this live stream afterwards, leave a comment, leave down in the comments your ratings for the Italy games. And see you guys in the future videos. Always Forza Inter, but Forza Azzurri, Forza la Nazionale. Ciao ragazzi.